One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here and will rise with you as the new king.
This is Disney's animated classic, The Lion King.
As the king's brother, you should have been first in line.
I was first in line.
And while this might share its name, it certainly doesn't share its spirit. What should be a marvel of 3D technology is instead a lesser quality dupe of the original work from a company that used to be at the forefront of boundary-pushing animation, and it's far from the only offender. So why is Disney stuck on these hyper-realistic or all-out live-action remakes of old favorites? And will we ever be free of them?
Long live the king.
If we really want to understand the state of modern Disney, we have to take a look at all the steps that led to the company's current position. While we're all familiar with the trend of live-action remakes, Disney has actually been returning to its wishing well of IP since the mid-90s, when the company remade 1967's The Jungle Book in 1994. While that remake is largely forgotten, it can be viewed as a trial run for what was to come. 2010's Alice in Wonderland was Disney's next proper attempt at a live-action remake, and despite less than stellar reviews, the movie was the second highest-grossing film of the year, coming in just under another Disney property, Toy Story 3. The company's relationship with groundbreaking 3D animation began in earnest with the 1995 release of the first Toy Story film. Of course, it was director John Lasseter and his team at Pixar who actually produced Toy Story. Considering Disney's reputation as an innovator in the field of animation, it only made sense for them to keep exploring new digital frontiers as computer technology continued to evolve. However, Disney's own 3D animation wasn't exactly on par with what Pixar was creating. The company's first attempt at a solo 3D outing was 2000's Dinosaur, which certainly wasn't a Toy Story level hit. The criticisms being hurled at Disney at this early stage would end up following well through the 2020s. In particular, Dinosaur was described as technically brilliant, but lacking substance or purpose. The most common complaint was that the realistic animals looked unnatural when they spoke.
Look! What?
It's a cold-blooded monster. Ugh.
Clearly, Disney wasn't prepared to take on the brave new world of computer-generated animation on its own. So after several more successful collaborations, Disney bought out Pixar in 2006, and the two companies have been one giant conglomerate ever since. This early adoption of CGI technology and the later profits from the live-action Alice in Wonderland movie are the two biggest reasons for Disney's shift in creative focus. It should have been a winning combination. Realistic 3D animation is inarguably technically impressive, and the strategy has even worked on at least one occasion.
When was it we came to adopt man into the jungle? He's just a cub. Does my face not remind you of what a grown man can do?
We're gonna stop the video just for a second and talk about today's sponsor, War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. You can take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships and enter into the conflict today. The game boasts a community of over 70 million players worldwide, and now it even has an all-new mobile version available on iOS and Android, so you can now take the battlefield wherever you go. War Thunder is available for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile right now. Play by using my links in the pinned comment and video description below. New players and those who haven't played in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack on PC or consoles. You'll get premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account just for signing up. Available for a limited time only, so don't miss out. Disney seems to think that expanding the boundaries of animation means stripping the charm and personality inherent to their most beloved characters and slapping them into real-world environments. 2020's live-action Mulan remake is a great example of all these issues. There is an attempt to be more respectful to Chinese culture, though the behind-the-scenes team is still overwhelmingly white. Rooting the movie in the real world meant removing the fan-favorite Mushu, as well as all the iconic musical numbers. And while Mulan still returns home at the end, she's immediately promoted to an officer in the Emperor's Guard anyway.
She has saved the dynasty. The entire kingdom is in her debt.
Puzzlingly, there's way more emphasis on Mulan's gender in the remake than in the original, but it ends up mattering very little once she chooses to reveal her secret. Additionally, rather than rising to the challenges of military life through one of the best musical montages ever put to film, Mulan's battle prowess comes mainly from her innate superhero levels of chi. This is a backward slide from the original movie's message of empowerment and equality, and that's not even mentioning how the movie's only other main female character needlessly puts herself down like an old dog. There's no personality in 2020's Mulan. No real positive change made to the original. The realistic CGI is so characterless that it borders on being entirely forgettable. But Disney doesn't care about any of that. The company doesn't actually choose properties to remake based on a desire to improve upon the existing work, or to push animation in new and exciting directions. They choose properties based on how much money they stand to make.
I can make you rich. Rich enough to impress a princess.
In the case of Mulan, their play for a financial payoff didn't go as planned, but that's largely due to the pandemic. In the years previously and since, they've repeated the process and seen massive returns on movies like 2023's The Little Mermaid, which fell into all the same creative pitfalls but still managed to make $569 million at the box office. Those numbers are why we've been subjected to movies like this for a decade and a half. The company, once hailed for its unique approach to making movies, has since become an industry assembly line, churning out literal copies of its own art.
Go ahead, make a fool of yourself. Then maybe you'll listen to your conscience.
The prequel to the hyper-real 3D animated remake of The Lion King is the sad and unavoidable conclusion to Disney's years-long quest to make their library as bland and boring as possible. This glorified nature documentary was undoubtedly difficult to create, but it's also the least effective use of realism they could have dreamed up.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Meanwhile, Sonic 3 shares Mufasa's release date and is a much better example of how to incorporate CGI into realistic environments. The Sonic franchise has garnered a substantial and loyal following. This is due in part to the unprecedented changes made to Sonic's original design before the first movie's release. Thanks to immense fan backlash,
Internet got one look at my human teeth and burned the place down.
Sonic was redesigned to look more like his cartoony self, while remaining believable enough when interacting with real people and objects. He has massive, emotive eyes and a smile that can squash and stretch, and the animators aren't bound to the laws of actual physics. As such, Paramount's Sonic movies have a distinct, colorful, charming style, even though they take place in the real world, which is a skill Disney seemingly isn't interested in developing.
And you look different. Hey, it's no secret I had the CGI surgery done, and it's done wonders rejuvenating my career.
And it's not just the remakes and their sequels. Disney's new and more stylized 3D animated projects are also at a creative standstill. While companies like Sony and DreamWorks are making impressive stylistic leaps within the bounds of CGI, Disney's style has remained fixed. They've prioritized brand recognition over artistic expression, which has meant very few of their newer releases have had the same cultural impact as the ones released in the old 2D heyday. Eventually, Disney is going to run out of beloved classics to remake into live-action or realistic 3D animation. 2025 has promised us the abysmal-looking Snow White, as well as Lilo and Stitch. 2026 will give us a live-action Moana, and several other live-action projects like Hunchback and Hercules are currently in development hell. If the trend continues, all of these movies will take home millions at the box office, but none of them will be remembered fondly. Modern Disney might be making money, but it's no longer making history, art, or any significant statement. And that's the true cost of Disney's obsession with realism. And this is it for the video, but before you go, make sure you check out today's sponsor, War Thunder, and blow up some tanks. Play the game now for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile using my links in the pinned comment or video description. And as always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Nerdstalgic for more videos just like this.